My story starts in a little town of Worcestershire, England, where my great-great-great-grandpa John Henry G. Bray lived before he came to Canada in 1872. Lots of innovation was going on in England during the 1870s, including the first international football match, the first international rugby match, the Legalization Act, and Britain, Russia, France, Austria, Turkey, and Italy agreed to the Treaty of Paris. He came to Canada because he heard Canada was a place to start a new life. He got a job as a Northwest Mounted Police in Manitoba, Canada. That is where he met an Aboriginal woman named Jemima McKay when he was 35. He then married her and had 15 children, one being my great-great-grandpa Colin Bray. Colin was born in Pincher Creek, Alberta, but lived and grew up in Medicine Hat, Alberta. He met his wife when he was 26 in 1914. His wife's name was Dora Farrell. They lived a very normal Canadian life, with Colin being a carpenter and Dora stayed at home to take care of their 4 boys, Colin, Bernard, Alan, and my great-grandpa, Robert. Robert lived in Medicine Hat, Alberta, just like his parents before him. He moved to Banff, where he lived most of his life by the Bow River. At the time, Banff was only home to 300 people. He was an amazing golfer, being a 9-time Banff Springs annual golf tournament winner. He was also an Air Force pilot, who trained pilots to go overseas to Europe to fight in the war. He then met his wife, Doris McLeod, which he married in 1943 during the Second World War. She was a nurse at the Banff Springs Hotel. They loved to golf all around Canada and America, but before that, they had 2 daughters, Barbara and my grandma, Susan Ellen Bray. Susan was born and raised in Banff, Alberta. With her parents always traveling and involved in golf, she had to find her own things to do. This led to Sue being very involved with horses. She spent most of her time taking care of the horses that her and her sister owned. She lived in Banff her whole childhood, until she met her husband, Daniel Osborne. Daniel at the time was taking a year off of university and was spending the year living in Banff, Alberta. He was a teller for the Bank of Montreal. They met in 1966 and got married in 1969. After that, they moved to Winnipeg, Manitoba because Daniel was offered a great job. They had 2 kids, Stephanie and my dad, Tyler. Shortly after Tyler was born, him and his family moved to Unionville, Ontario in 1975. Daniel and Susan now live in Windermere, British Columbia, but rent a house in Stouffville, Ontario to be with their family in the winter months. Tyler grew up struggling in school because he had other interests such as BMX biking, hanging out with friends, and partying. He ended up passing high school and going to George Brown College for jewelry arts. He then met a girl named Michelle McNellan when he was 22. They easily found true love with each other and got married in 1999. They shortly after that had 2 kids, Daniel Osborne, a now Durham College graduate, and a great chef that works for The Works Burgers in Pickering. Also, Daniel is the most genuine and nicest person you will ever meet. Then there is me. I was born in the Ajax Pickering Hospital on March 28, 2002. I am now a student at Bill Carruthers Secondary School, a great soccer player that plays OPDL for United FA and has played on Team Ontario for the past 3 years. I plan to do amazing things with my life to create more history in Canada for my family. My name is Carter Osborne, and that's my place in Canadian history.